When you place an iconic watch like the Omega Speedmaster next to the Omega Swatch collaboration, the MoonSwatch, you get an honest comparison of the pros and cons of either watch. Now in this video, I would love to compare the two, but instead I'm gonna go on a rant because it was extremely hard to film this video. Now the comparison will come out, but as I was doing all the macro shots of this video, something became extremely apparent, and that is the low quality of the MoonSwatch, and here is why I hate the MoonSwatch. Now remember, I will be doing a comparison video of the Omega and the MoonSwatch head to head, but I have to wait for some Polywatch to come in. So the first thing that I'm gonna talk about is the low quality grade of the acrylic crystal on this watch. Yes, I understand the MoonSwatch that I have right here is only $260. And if you try to buy it on the secondary market, it's over $350 if you don't have an authorized dealer near you. Now to me, this is one of those things that really is a kick in the nuts, right? When it comes to people who aren't near an authorized dealer. I'm not gonna harp on those who are trying to make an easy buck who live in an area near an authorized dealer. The price gouging is a little ridiculous because if you do live in the area and you can go and pick up a MoonSwatch once a week or a couple a week and then sell them for maybe, $60 more plus shipping, then I think that's reasonable, except when I finally got my hands on the Omega MoonSwatch. Now this is one of those things that I really was excited about, and I did do a video, I'll leave it right here, going through my honest opinion of the Omega MoonSwatch. I think that it does have a place in the market, like Movement and Vincero have a place in the market, introducing people into the world of wearing something other than a smartwatch like an Apple Watch or Garmin. So there is a place for it. However, for $260, I think that is way overblown. So let's first talk about the materials of the watch itself. Yes, it does have bioceramic. I understand that really bioceramic is plastic, and it is a stained plastic. And I say that because there have been incidences in the past where the coloring of the case itself does rub off and wear on the wrist. Now we're gonna get into the strap and why I'm actually afraid to test out the theory on the case, because I think that I could do something that makes it bleed immediately, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Now first let's talk about the acrylic crystal. When I dove into the macro shots, when it came to the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch and the Omega Swatch MoonSwatch, it was extremely hard for me to get macro shots of the dial because the dial was so scratched up, and I've only had it for a week. I've only been wearing it on and off for a week, and it has deep scratches in it already. Now, I'm not one who just willy-nilly throws my wrists around. We're talking about general wear and tear from maybe the cuff of my uniform or just placing it down on a desk, but it made it almost impossible to film the dial of the watch. So I am getting some Polywatch. That's really not that big a deal. Some Polywatch on hand, you can buff it up once a week and it looks new again. But just the pure fact that it became so scratched up so fast was a little disheartening. Now let's talk about the strap. A lot of people complain, they're like, look, the strap is low quality, not a big fan of the Velcro. I think the strap is extremely comfortable. That's one of the things I actually like about the watch. I think that the strap fits quite nicely. I understand in the video of the MoonSwatch, they don't want you to bend the strap, right? They don't want you to crease it here, right, at the buckle. And I understand why, because they want it to fit to your wrist, right? And it's extremely comfortable when on the wrist. It's lightweight because it's made of cheap plastic. The movement inside says it has 4 jewels. It's just a Swiss quartz movement that ticks. That's not even like a mega quartz. We'll get into that. But the watch is very comfortable on the wrist. In fact, this is one of the watches I love to wear. At least I did. And when I look at the crystal, when I look at the case, and Adrian Barker from Bark and Jack Straps, also has a YouTube channel that previously was Bark and Jack and now is just Adrian Barker. He actually had a pusher break off.
I literally pulled my hand out of my pocket and the pusher fell off. Now, of course, the pusher could have been broken at some other point.
And it was just like some light damage that, bumping it into the side of a desk, which is absolutely possible for this watch. Well, I was working an overtime detail and I put a little bit of I took this watch off, put a little bit of bug spray on because I live in Alaska and there's mosquitoes everywhere. And I put a little bit of bug spray on, and then I didn't even put the watch back on. What I did was I picked it up and I placed it in my patrol car. And the simple act of picking it up and having a little bit of residue from the bug spray caused irreversible damage to the watch strap, right? It made it so the SP on Speedmaster bled, mission on Earth can barely be seen now, and I immediately tried to clean it off and the damage had already been done. Then I reach out to Swatch to try to replace it because I like the watch and I want the original strap and I can't even get it. I would literally have to buy another MoonSwatch to be able to get a strap for the one that I already own, right? It all just hits me in all the wrong ways, right? I understand the crystal can be a little cheap, right? It's worse than a Timex crystal. At least a Timex can use some glass. I understand why they wanted to use dome acrylic because it closely resembles the domed Hesselite that's on the Speedmaster. Like, I understand all this, but it's like it's so cheaply made. For $260, I feel like they could have done more. So you're really just paying for the brand, right? You're paying for the fact that it says Omega, even though they could have done a little bit more to it. This is all just a rant. I understand. I like the MoonSwatch still. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy another MoonSwatch. And I am doing everything I can to find another strap for the mission to Earth. I really do like this color. It's different, right? It's fun, it's quirky, it's not, it's just different. Now, the comparison for the actual Omega Professional Moonwatch, the Speedmaster, the comparison for this will be done the moment I get Polywatch in. I can't seem to find my Polywatch anywhere, but once I get my Polywatch in, I will clean up the crystal on both, even though the macro shots have already been done for the Speedmaster. I'll just do Polywatch on both, and then I will do a side-by-side comparison, right? The pros and cons of both, right? And really, is this worth $260? Anyway, we're going to get all that in the other video. Then I am going to be doing a video comparing Omega to Rolex, right? Because you got those Omega fanboys, right, who are like, Omega is the best, technical specs and stuff like that, and Rolex is just this, and the argument for Rolex and the argument for Omega. I'm going to do a comparison for those as well. I also have a lot of stuff on my desk to review. I've been sort of cleaning up my studio a little bit. I've had an issue with my microphone, the Blue Yeti that I normally use, and I'm trying to remedy that, so I'm using an old lavalier mic right now. I got another Rode mic right here, but nothing seems to work for this, so I had to order a special connector from Rode for this. So I'm trying to bring you guys as much content as I can. Things are just kind of falling apart, and I'm making it work, piecemealing and triaging where I can. Anyway, look forward to the videos coming up in the future. I have a lot of stuff. I have a list for the entire summer of a video every 3 days, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. At 12,000 subscribers, I will give away my MoonSwatch with a strap that is actually functional. I will give away my MoonSwatch in a giveaway to those who participate in the videos. From 10,000 subscribers and on, what I'm going to do is do giveaways to the subscribers who are active in the comments, who like the videos, who watch the videos, not just those who have clicked subscribe and then disappeared, even though I'm appreciative of the fact that you feel like you can subscribe to my channel and come back later. I get that, but I really want to reward those who have stuck with me this entire time. So I'm going to be giving this away at 12,000 subscribers. So be a subscriber, leave comments, hit that notification bell. Got a lot of stuff coming up in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.